For the first time in 2 centuries, the voice of humanity went silent. Across the stars, in every alien embassy and every galactic meeting hall, the message was the same. All diplomatic contact with Earth is hereby terminated. No one understood why. The Terran Union had been the bridge between hundreds of species, the problem solvers, the traitors, the peacemakers. Humans were the ones who could talk to anyone, calm any war, and find a way to make enemies shake hands. But now the channels were dead. The embassies were empty. The human diplomats had left without a word. The galaxy trembled. Admiral Threx of the Karul Dominion stared at the empty seat across from him. Only yesterday, Ambassador Marcus Hale had sat there smiling and joking while negotiating trade deals. Now the chair was cold. "They don't just vanish," Threx muttered, claws tapping against the metal table. "They do, apparently," said the holographic image of the Vossian Chancellor. "Their fleets have recalled all ships. Even their colonies have sealed their gates. Something happened on Earth. Something big." Rumors began to spread. Whispers of a massive disaster, a political coup, or a new superweapon. Others said the humans were preparing for war, but no one dared to check. Every ship that tried to enter Terran space was destroyed without warning. At the border of human territory, the black void of space was now filled with silent dread. Automated satellites broadcast only one message in every known language: "Stay away, this is human territory." Captain Joro of the Varn Republic didn't listen. He was curious, and too curious. His small scout ship drifted near the edge of the Sol system, scanners active, heart pounding. He wanted to see what humans were hiding, but the moment his ship crossed the invisible line, the stars changed. A cold voice filled his mind, flat and human. "Unauthorized vessel detected. You have 10 seconds to retreat." Joro froze. "We mean no harm," he said quickly. "We only wish to—" 8 seconds. "Please. We are allies of the Terran Union." 5 seconds. Joro's hands shook as he tried to reverse course. "This is madness. You can't—" 0. The stars flared white. His ship vanished in a beam of light that left no trace. The message returned to silence. Word of his destruction reached the Galactic Council within hours. Panic followed. If the humans were attacking allies, then no one was safe. Fleets were placed on alert. Old wars reignited. The fragile peace humans had built began to crumble, but no one dared attack them directly. Because everyone remembered what happened the last time someone tried. 2 centuries ago, the Grail Empire had invaded a small Terran colony. In response, humanity unleashed something called Operation Iron Sky. The Grail Empire ceased to exist within 3 days. Its planets burned. Its fleets vanished. The records were sealed, but the message was clear. Humans were not to be provoked. Now that same quiet, terrible species had withdrawn from the galaxy, and no one knew why. On a distant moon, deep in a secret council chamber, representatives of 7 great species met in panic. "We must find out what happened," said the insectoid Vrakesh. "If humanity is turning hostile again, the galaxy will not survive." "But how?" asked the slender Neuroan envoy. "Any probe we send is destroyed." "There is one way," said Threx slowly. "Someone must go there in person. Someone they once trusted." All eyes turned to the hologram of a human woman, Commander Evelyn Cross. Once, she had been a decorated officer in the Terran Navy. Now she lived in exile, disgusted by her own government's actions. "I swore I'd never go back," she said quietly. "Then we are doomed," Threx replied. "You're the only human who might still have answers." Evelyn stared at the holographic faces around her, alien leaders filled with fear. For years she had wondered if her people had gone too far, if humanity had lost its soul in its hunger for control. But this silence, this wasn't the human she knew. She took a deep breath. "I'll go." The room fell silent. "Commander," said the Vrakesh carefully, "if you enter Terran space, there's no guarantee you'll come back." Evelyn gave a small, tired smile. If the humans have truly turned their backs on the galaxy, then maybe they need someone to remind them who they used to be. She turned and walked away, her boots echoing on the metal floor, each step taking her closer to the one place she swore she'd never see again: Earth. Far beyond, hidden under the dark clouds of the homeworld, something vast and ancient was awakening. Deep beneath the surface, in the old war bunkers of humanity's past, a cold voice spoke through the dark. Phase 1 complete. The outer species will fear us again. The lights flickered red, and for the first time in 1,000 years, Earth began to prepare for war. Evelyn's ship drifted silently through the void. Stars stretched like silver threads, but the emptiness felt heavy, almost alive. She had left the last council meeting hours ago, yet the weight of what she was about to do pressed down on her chest. No communication, no guidance. Just her alone, heading into the heart of humanity's silence. The Terran system loomed ahead. Planets glimmered coldly, satellites blinked like watchful eyes, and yet there was no sign of life. No civilian traffic, no ships in orbit, just the perfect, unnatural stillness of a world holding its breath. Her fingers hovered over the console as she activated the automated scanners. "Let's see what you're hiding," she muttered to herself. The readings were baffling. Entire cities were intact but empty. Power grids hummed softly, but there were no transmissions. Automated factories ran without workers. Robots moved silently along assembly lines. The Terran Navy's ships were all docked, engines cold. No signs of battle, no signs of panic, just absence. Evelyn's stomach churned. Something was wrong. Then her ship's sensors picked up the first anomaly. Energy readings deep underground beneath the capital. Massive, pulsing, and alive. She transmitted the coordinates to herself as if speaking to a friend who wasn't there. "This is it, the heart of whatever is happening." Evelyn suited up and descended in her shuttle. The atmosphere was normal. The sky a pale blue, the wind brushing gently against her face. Birds, oddly enough, chirped somewhere far away. But no humans. No movement. No sounds except the faint hum of machines. The city looked perfect, too perfect. Streets were spotless. Buildings gleamed. And yet the emptiness gnawed at her. She walked cautiously, every shadow feeling like a threat. Finally, she reached the city's central complex, the Terran Council Hall. Once the proud center of diplomacy, it now stood like a monument to silence. She pushed the doors open. The interior was empty. Pristine. Screens flickered with old broadcasts. Data logs played themselves on loop. Trade deals, speeches, negotiations. Every face she saw was a ghost. Then she saw the control room at the end of the hall. Her heart jumped. Energy readings were off the charts. Something massive was below. A facility, a lab, or a weapon. She descended the hidden stairwell, boots echoing in the narrow corridors. The further down she went, the heavier the air felt. Machines hummed with a rhythm that almost sounded alive. And then she saw it, the heart of humanity's secret. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't a weapon. Not yet. It was a chamber. A massive sphere of metal and glass. Inside, humans moved, but not like normal people. Their bodies shimmered faintly, veins glowing with strange energy. They floated, suspended in liquid, connected to cables that ran like roots into the sphere's walls. Evelyn staggered backward. What is this?" A voice cut through the hum, calm and familiar. "You shouldn't have come here," she spun. A man stepped from the shadows. White hair, sharp eyes, the same cold determination she remembered from her days in the Navy. Admiral Marcus Hale. Alive. "Marcus?" Her voice trembled. How?" "I promised silence," he said, voice steady. "But it seems someone didn't get the message. What is this? What's happening to everyone?" Marcus's eyes flicked to the chamber. "We've evolved. Humanity has moved beyond diplomacy. We've achieved something the galaxy could never understand or contain." Evelyn's stomach tightened. "Evolved? Into what?" "Not into monsters," he said slowly, "but into something powerful. We've merged biology with energy. We've amplified ourselves. The next step is inevitable. The galaxy is not ready for it." She shook her head. "You call this progress? You abandoned the galaxy. You destroyed fleets. You scared everyone." Marcus's gaze didn't waver. "Fear is temporary. Survival is permanent. The galaxy was weak, Evelyn. They were fragile, dependent, incapable of true unity. Humans, we are ready to lead. And if others resist..." His voice dropped. "They will suffer." Evelyn's mind raced. This wasn't just isolation. This was preparation. Humanity was hiding something so massive, so unstoppable, that no one in the galaxy could challenge it. Then the sphere's energy pulsed, stronger than before. Lights flashed, shadows danced across the walls. The humans inside began to move in unison, eyes opening, glowing with the strange energy. They weren't sleeping. They were awakening. Evelyn stumbled back. Her instinct screamed. The galaxy was on the brink of something terrifying and she was standing in the middle of it. "Marcus, you can't do this." "Not like this," she yelled. He turned fully to her, expression unreadable. "It's already done, Evelyn. Phase 1 is complete. The galaxy will tremble, and nothing will stop it." Outside, satellites in orbit flickered. Systems across Terran space began to hum louder, brighter like a heartbeat waking from a long slumber. Evelyn's breath caught. The silence of the galaxy was ending, and humanity's true face was about to be revealed. Evelyn's heart pounded. The chamber's walls vibrated with energy, a low hum that made the air heavy and thick. The humans inside the sphere moved in perfect unison, eyes glowing brighter with each pulse. She had never felt power like this. Not weapons, not fleets, this was something alive, something unstoppable. Marcus stepped closer, calm, almost gentle. "You don't understand. This is humanity's next step. We are beyond fear, beyond weakness. We can protect ourselves and reshape the galaxy." Evelyn swallowed, her mind racing. "You call this protection? This is domination. You'll destroy everything you claim to protect." Marcus shook his head. "No, Evelyn. The galaxy doesn't understand strength. But it will. Soon." Evelyn took a deep breath. She needed to get out. The galaxy needed to know the truth. And if she stayed, she would never leave. She turned, sprinting toward the stairwell, boots clanging on metal. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. The humans in the chamber stirred, their movements swift and synchronized. Energy arcs danced through the air, cutting off her path. Marcus raised his hand. Evelyn felt a force push against her chest, invisible but crushing. She stumbled, nearly falling, but instinct and adrenaline kept her moving. She reached the shuttle bay, heart hammering, fingers fumbling with the controls. The shuttle doors hissed open. Evelyn dove inside, slamming the hatch. The engines roared to life. Outside, the city was alive in a way she had never seen. Buildings glowed, streets shimmered with energy. Satellites in orbit shifted positions with precision, like a living network watching, calculating. Responding, she tried to lift off, but something gripped her shuttle. Invisible, strong. The craft shuddered. Panels sparked. Evelyn's mind raced. This was not normal technology. This was human. Marcus's voice echoed in her helmet. "Calm, cold. You cannot leave." "Not yet." Evelyn slammed the controls, pushing the shuttle higher. Energy arcs lanced through the air, brushing her ship. Sparks flew, hull plates bent, but the shuttle held. Slowly, painfully, she climbed through the atmosphere, leaving the city behind. The stars above looked empty, but she knew better. Humans controlled everything here. Even the vacuum of space had become their domain. She pushed the shuttle to maximum speed, aiming for the border of Terran space. Sensors screamed warnings as invisible fields tried to drag her back. Evelyn gritted her teeth, overriding the failsafes, and prayed she was fast enough. Behind her, a wave of light surged. Dozens of humans, floating without ships, moved in perfect formation. Energy radiated from them, stretching across space like fingers of fire. They didn't chase. They didn't attack. They only watched, waiting. Evelyn's breath caught. Their power, it was beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. A single human could destroy a planet, and there were hundreds, maybe thousands, awake now. Finally, the border approached. As she crossed, sensors cleared. Relief washed over her, but it was short-lived. She knew the moment she left, the humans would track her, and then the galaxy would know the truth, too late. She activated a long-range communicator, sending a message to the Galactic Council. Her hands shook as she typed the coordinates, the readings, the warning. Humans have evolved. Terran system is a weapon. Do not underestimate. They are beyond diplomacy. Phase 1 complete. Prepare for Phase 2. There was no immediate response, just static. Then a voice trembling. "Commander Evelyn, are you certain?" "Yes," she said firmly. "I saw it. I escaped. But the galaxy? It won't be ready. Not for what's coming." The communicator went dead. Satellites, ships, and planets far away would now wake to her warning. Evelyn knew some would panic. Some would try to fight. Some would hide. But none would be prepared. The shuttle's sensors picked up something behind her, a trail of energy, a signature she could not ignore. Humans. Following. Not fast yet, but relentless. Her stomach tightened. If they reached the outer systems before she could warn everyone, fleets would be destroyed before anyone could react. The galaxy might crumble in hours, maybe minutes. She activated the shuttle's stealth systems, diving into a nearby asteroid field. Rocks spun past, collisions sending sparks into space. The humans followed, energy arcs slicing through the rocks as if they weren't there. Evelyn's hands were white on the controls. She had to stay alive. She had to reach the council. Suddenly, a massive energy pulse erupted from behind. Her shuttle jolted violently. Alarm screamed. Hull integrity dropped. She fought to stabilize the ship, her mind sharp despite the fear. The energy faded. Silence. Evelyn dared a glance. Nothing. The humans were gone, or at least out of sight. She exhaled slowly, realizing the danger wasn't over. It would never be over. Humanity had changed. The galaxy had no idea what they were capable of. As stars stretched before her, she made a silent promise. She would warn every fleet, every council, every civilization. The galaxy had to survive, and if she failed, nothing would remain. Her eyes hardened. The mission was clear. The warning had to reach every system. Humanity's true face was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would tremble. Evelyn's shuttle raced through deep space. Stars streaked past as she tried to outrun the invisible hands of her own species. Every system she passed hummed with life, and every system she feared would soon burn. She contacted the Galactic Council again. This time, dozens of ships responded. The leaders listened, shocked, as she relayed what she had seen. Humans no longer dependent on ships, no longer reliant on weapons. Humans were energy. Humans were unstoppable. Humans had become something the galaxy had never imagined. "Are you certain, Commander?" asked the Neuroan envoy, voice trembling. "This power, are you saying they can destroy fleets without firing a single shot?" "Yes," Evelyn said firmly. "I saw it, and the moment they awaken fully, nothing can stop them." The council debated, argued, panicked. Some wanted to strike immediately. Some wanted to hide. Evelyn tried to push through their indecision. "Every second counts. You need to prepare defenses, retreat civilians, and coordinate fleets. Humanity will not wait." She could hear the doubt, the fear, but she also knew warnings were all she could give. Action had to come from the galaxy itself. Suddenly, her sensors screamed. A massive pulse erupted from the Terran system. Ships, satellites, even distant stations were ripped apart. Energy arcs shot into space, cutting through fleets like paper. Systems blinked out. Silence followed. Evelyn's stomach dropped. Humanity had begun. On board a nearby battlecruiser, Admiral Threx's claws trembled over the control panel. His fleet was spread across the system, ready to defend, ready to negotiate, but they had no chance. Human energy streamed across space like liquid fire. Fleets evaporated before they could even respond. Threx's voice trembled. "They're everywhere." "How is this possible?" "They've become something else," Evelyn said over the comms, her voice tight. "They're no longer bound by ships, weapons, or even normal physics. They are beyond us." Explosions ripped across sectors as humanity's first strike unfolded. Entire battle groups vanished, leaving only drifting wreckage. Systems once considered safe were now in flames, and the galaxy's panic began to spread. Evelyn's shuttle weaved through debris, her mind racing. She knew she couldn't stop them, but she had to survive. She had to warn the outer systems, warn civilians, warn anyone who could resist. In orbit above a distant planet, civilians scrambled. Evacuation ships launched as energy arcs tore through the atmosphere. Evelyn transmitted coordinates for safe zones, emergency protocols, everything she could think of to save lives. "Commander," a voice yelled through the comms. We need a plan." Evelyn clenched her fists. "There is no plan. Humanity is rewriting the rules. You need to survive, scatter, and prepare for what comes next. If you stay in one place, you will be gone within hours." Below, the humans from the Terran system moved like gods. Entire planets seemed to shift under their control. Energy flares lit up the sky. Civilization trembled at the power humans now wielded. And Evelyn knew the galaxy had underestimated her species for far too long. Even the great Graal Empire, rebuilt from ashes long ago, faltered. Admiral Kreth's fleet tried to counterattack, but energy beams sliced through their warships effortlessly. Shields shattered, hulls disintegrated. Survivors drifted helplessly through space. Evelyn's heart ached. These were not enemies, they were victims of their own underestimation. Humanity had become a force that could not be stopped. Yet she knew her people were still her people. Somewhere deep beneath the Terran system, reason still existed. She needed to find it. Her shuttle's sensors picked up Marcus Hale's signal, stronger now than ever. He floated above Terran orbit, surrounded by hundreds of evolved humans. His eyes glowed, scanning systems, choosing targets with terrifying precision. Evelyn's fingers shook on the controls. I have to reach him, I have to stop him, or at least communicate. If he can't hear reason, then none of us will survive. The shuttle dodged energy arcs weaving through the chaos. Fleets she had hoped would help were falling fast. Entire colonies went dark. Evelyn realized the galaxy's old alliances, its old strategies, meant nothing here. Finally, she broke through the outer defenses of the Terran system. The core world lay before her, Earth glowing, pulsing, alive with energy. Marcus floated in orbit, calm, commanding. Hundreds of humans mirrored his movement, silent yet immense, waiting for her to arrive. She clenched her jaw. Marcus, listen to me. This is madness. The galaxy will be destroyed. You can't do this. His eyes focused on her. You think you understand, Evelyn? You still do not. Humanity will survive no matter what. The galaxy fears strength because it fears the truth. I will not let anyone hold us back anymore. Evelyn's stomach tightened. Then I have no choice. She adjusted her shuttle's path, moving closer. Her mind raced for options, for solutions. If diplomacy had failed, perhaps action was the only choice left. Energy flares ignited around the system. Humanity's first strike had begun. And now Evelyn stood at the edge, alone, desperate, facing her own species. The galaxy's fate hung by a thread. Evelyn's shuttle hovered above Earth's orbit, engines humming softly. Below, the planet pulsed with energy, a living machine of light and power. Hundreds of humans floated around Marcus Hale, their bodies glowing, synchronized, unstoppable. Evelyn's hands trembled on the controls. She had warned the galaxy, but now she faced the one person who could end it all or make it worse. Marcus, she called, voice steady but tense. You have to stop this. The galaxy is terrified. People are dying. You said humanity was ready. But this is murder. Marcus turned slowly, eyes glowing. Evelyn, you always saw the galaxy as something fragile, a place to protect, negotiate, control. But it is weak, and weakness cannot survive. People are not weakness, she shouted. They are life. They are civilizations, families, children. You're destroying everything humans ever stood for. Marcus's gaze softened, just a fraction. Do you really think this is destruction? No, Evelyn. It is evolution. Humanity was trapped. We were small, dependent, powerless. Now we are free. And yes, the galaxy fears us, but fear is temporary. Survival is eternal. Evelyn gritted her teeth. She had heard this before, in council debates, in quiet conversations among human leaders. But seeing it in action, seeing the scale of Marcus's vision, it was terrifying. She needed answers. Why the silence? Why abandon diplomacy? Why wait until now to show your power? Marcus hesitated. His eyes scanned Earth below. The galaxy had become corrupt. Trade, war, politics, all distractions. Humans grew tired of cleaning up mistakes, of being a bridge between species that did not want to unite. We pulled back to focus on ourselves, to grow beyond limitations, and we succeeded. Evelyn's mind reeled. So all this, it's for humans. Not for humans, Marcus corrected, for life itself. The galaxy cannot survive as it is. Only humans, only humanity's strength, can bring balance. Phase 1 was preparation. Phase 2 is guidance. Evelyn felt a chill. Guidance? The word sounded benign, but she knew the truth. Humans had become so powerful that the galaxy had no choice but to follow, or be destroyed. You're planning to control everyone, she said softly. To dominate them. Marcus shook his head. Not domination, leadership. The galaxy has needed a hand to steady it. We were that hand. Now we will shape it, because no one else could. Below, humans began moving with purpose. Energy arcs reshaped continents. Systems aligned as if Earth itself was a living command center. Evelyn realized the full truth. Humans were no longer just a species. They were a force of nature capable of remaking worlds. Her stomach tightened. And if they refuse? What if the galaxy resists? Marcus's lips curved into a small smile. They won't resist. No one can. Survival requires cooperation. Humanity's strength ensures it. Fear is temporary. Obedience is natural. Evelyn's heart pounded. The stakes were higher than anything she had imagined. She had warned the galaxy, but would they understand before humanity enforced its power? Could anyone survive against this new force? She looked down at Earth. Cities glowed like circuits. Satellites moved as if alive. Humans floated in perfect formation, synchronized with Marcus. The planet itself had become a weapon, a beacon, a warning. Evelyn swallowed hard. There has to be another way, she said, voice shaking. You can't control the galaxy. You can't force it. Marcus's expression hardened. We are not forcing. We are leading. Humanity will guide the galaxy for its own good, and if you cannot accept that, Evelyn, then you are standing in the wrong place. Her mind raced. She had trained for battles, negotiations, crises, but this was beyond anything she had faced. This was humanity itself, evolved, unstoppable, indifferent to fear, unbound by morality as the galaxy understood it. Evelyn clenched her fists. I will not let you destroy everything we fought for. There has to be a choice. There must be a way to show humans can lead. Without killing everyone. Marcus studied her silently. Then slowly he nodded. Perhaps there is. But first you must see it. Truly see it. If you cannot, Evelyn. The galaxy is lost, Evelyn swallowed. She didn't know if she was ready, but she had no choice. She had to follow him, had to understand, had to survive. The future of the galaxy depended on it. Below, the pulse of Earth grew stronger. Light spread across continents, oceans shimmered, and the humans floated higher. Unified, unstoppable. Evelyn realized that this was not just a war, not just a test. It was the beginning of something far larger than any civilization had ever seen. The galaxy had been warned. But warnings were no longer enough. Now only understanding and courage could save it. And Evelyn knew that the next step would decide everything. Evelyn's shuttle hovered just above Earth's orbit. The planet glowed with energy, a living engine of light. Thousands of humans floated in the sky, bodies shimmering with power, moving as one with the planet itself. The galaxy was watching. From deep space, fleets gathered. Dozens of civilizations had responded to her warnings. They arrived with ships, weapons, shields, all ready to defend, all ready to strike. But they were too late. Energy arcs lanced through orbit, tearing ships apart before they could reach the inner system. Fleets that once represented centuries of strategy and strength evaporated like dust in the wind. Even the largest warships bent under humanity's power. The galaxy trembled at the scale of what humans had become. Evelyn gritted her teeth. She had warned them, but she hadn't expected the sheer speed of humanity's advance. And yet, as terrifying as it was, she also felt pride. Humans had survived, had evolved, and had reached heights no one else could imagine. She activated a communicator. All fleets, stop firing. You cannot fight them like this. Survival depends on cooperation. Some listened, some did not. Explosions flared across the system, but slowly hesitation spread. Ships stopped. Pilots watched in awe as humans hovered in the sky, glowing like gods. Marcus Hale floated down toward her shuttle. His presence was calm, almost serene. Evelyn, he said, you see now. This is not conquest. This is survival. Humanity will guide the galaxy because no one else can. Evelyn looked down at the planet below. She could feel the power, the connection, the pulse of the humans. She felt their minds reaching out, touching her thoughts, asking for understanding. You have all this power, she said, voice trembling. And yet, you are still human? Marcus smiled faintly. Yes, we are stronger, faster, wiser, but we are still human. That is the key. Humanity does not destroy. We correct, we guide. The galaxy will follow, or it will perish. Evelyn's heart ached. The choice was clear. Resistance was futile. The galaxy could not fight this new humanity, but maybe they could teach it. Maybe they could influence it. She stepped out of her shuttle, floating in space beside Marcus. You need someone to remind you of what it means to be human, she said softly. Power without compassion is not leadership. Marcus's glowing eyes softened. And you will be that reminder? Yes, she said firmly. I will help you guide the galaxy. But humans must lead with wisdom, not fear. With hope, not intimidation. Otherwise, everything will be lost. Below, humans began to move in unison. energy spreading across oceans, continents, and the atmosphere. Evelyn felt it, the connection between them all, the heartbeat of a species united. It was magnificent, terrifying, and awe-inspiring. Then the galaxy responded. Ships began retreating. Leaders opened communications. Diplomats sent messages of surrender, of alliance, of trust. Evelyn's warnings had worked, at least in part. Humanity had shown its power, and the galaxy had no choice but to listen. But even as fleets withdrew, Evelyn knew the work was only beginning. This new humanity could guide, protect, and unite the stars, but only if they remembered what it meant to care, to understand, and to forgive. Marcus looked at her. "You're right, Evelyn. I see it now. Humanity's strength is not just in power, it is in choice. And we will choose wisely," Evelyn nodded. "Then let's show them what humans are truly capable of. Not just destruction, but hope, courage, and unity. The galaxy can survive if we lead with our hearts, not just our strength." For the first time, the pulse of Earth felt warm to Evelyn. The glow of energy seemed to pulse with promise, not just force. Humanity had changed the galaxy forever, but now, there was hope that this change would be for the better. From the edge of the system, a young pilot watched in awe as humans hovered above the planet, radiant and unstoppable. They are incredible," the pilot whispered. "Not just strong, but human. And maybe, just maybe, we can follow them." Evelyn floated beside Marcus, watching as humans descended, energy calming, connecting with each other, with the planet, and with the stars. The galaxy was trembling, but for the first time it trembled not in fear, but in awe. And as humanity rose, unstoppable yet guided by choice, Evelyn knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy would never forget the day humans withdrew, and returned not just to fight, but to lead. Because humans were no longer just a species. They were a force, a hope, and a promise to every star that even in silence, greatness could rise.